Hi, I'm Randolph Miller, and welcome to another Bounce Around Charleston. You'll be hearing all about the Clemente Pinckney hate crime bill in the State House and the Senate. Well, we have the right person to talk about the hate crime bill, State Representative Wendell Gilliard. Representative Wendell Gilliard, welcome again to Bounce Around Charleston.
Well, thanks for having me, Reverend Miller. It's always great to be here.
Okay, tell us about the Clemente Pinckney hate crime bill.
Well, it's come a long way, given the fact that we're now getting ready to go into the more or less the history of it, the genesis. It started about a year ago. We're sitting around talking about the fact that how far now we have to go with this effort, because it is so important. We are one of two states that don't have a hate crime law, Wyoming being the other state. We don't want to be in that class, okay? And we're trying to do everything to make that come to fruition so we can join the 48 other states in this effort.
Explain to me, what is a hate crime bill?
Well, definitely all the bill does, and we call it a bill that is enhance the laws, the other laws. There's the federal laws, the hate crimes, and if we become the 49th state to have a hate crime law, it'll just be added penalties along with the federal government enhancement, okay? And the law itself, it states that nobody can take actions upon a person because of the color of their skins, the creed, or whatever the case might be, sexual orientation, their religious affiliation, things along that line. And by virtue of our history here in South Carolina, I've always told people we should have been the first out of the gate with a hate crime law. Okay, it is so important that people have to understand that we can't look at the 48 other states and say that what you're doing is wrong. Okay, they're doing everything right. If we create a hate crime law here in the state of South Carolina, number one, it will help us expedite the cases if we had a law. Okay, because when you look at the federal law, they have what we call a backlog of cases pending. Okay, and we don't have that luxury anymore in our society. Okay, and number two, for the first time, it would give us a right to keep records. We don't keep records here in the state of South Carolina. We don't know where the problem areas are here in the 46 counties. But if we had a hate crime law, now we would have a mandate to keep records. And thirdly, the other states have shown when they created their own in-house law, it was evident that now the people felt comfortable enough to come forward and report hate crimes. So it's a lot of benefits in having a hate crime law, okay? And we just want people to understand that. Now, my commitment, we're going in the 7-year anniversary, sad to say, the infamous act, Mother Emanuel, come June, okay? And when that act happened, when Dylan Roof did what he did, and I still don't believe he acted alone, but when that happened, I made a commitment that I would fight and create a hate crime law here in the state of South Carolina. Now, thanks to organizations like the Racial Justice Network, Elder Johnson, NAACP, I have to really say thank you for standing by us. The South Carolina Black Caucus, Ms. Pat Hagan is the chairman of the Black Caucus, the Democratic Black Caucus. And of course, in the House, we had what we call bipartisan support. The Speaker of the House, who's now stepping down, but he joined in with us with many other Republicans, such as Representative Newton and many of them in the House. So we want to thank them. But I also want to give my accolades, because as you know, as the bill, historically, it passed the House last year. Now the bill is in the Senate. And now, they poured their souls out in the Senate recently. In other words, they took to the floor and asked their peers to go ahead and make this happen for our peer. As you well know, the late Senator Clemente Pinckney was a state senator. Okay.
So is that the reason why it's called the Clemente Pinckney hate crime bill?
I had it named that just for that very reason. You're right on it. A good friend of mine, Representative John King, was in the subcommittee last year, and I whispered in his ear. I said, name the bill after Senator Clemente Pinckney. And maybe when it leaves the House and gets to the Senate, then they can see that they will be honoring one of their own peers. Okay. But unfortunately, it only takes one senator to object. And when he did that, we had 9 other senators that put their name on the objection list. So that's why I had to consult with people like the Anita Zuckers. I had to go to the South Carolina Business Chamber with many other organizations, the Jewish Federation, my good friend Brandon Upson. These people were dedicated in seeing this coming to fruition. And we're still fighting it because now, when we first saw the objection list, we had 10 senators' name on that objection list. We're now down, as of today, 6 names. And we're still trying to fight hard to get their names off of the objection list.
Well, why do you think they are objecting?
For various reasons. Okay, and really, when you listen to some of them, just like the other day, one of the state senators held a press conference, and the reporter asked him, said, why are you objecting to this? He said, because it's going to hurt people of color. Well, my God, that's why the bill was created, just to do the opposite. So why would you even answer? It's just crazy things like that is just going on. And we really got to get more serious than this.
And what can the public do to help move this along?
Their voices, calling their state senators, asking them to remove their names off the objection list. So this bill could now get to the Senate floor where we feel comfortable enough to say, if it gets to the floor, we can make this thing come to fruition. Okay. And now, and I have to tell the audience this also, because I get asked this a lot. They said, when you created this bill, why did you create it? And you asked that question up front. And I thought that was a very good question. I don't think my intention was never to marginalize this effort, because, hate crimes happen to our white brothers and sisters just as well as our Jewish brothers and sisters. We have to understand hate crime comes in all categories. Okay. And if we don't understand that, then we won't understand anything in this country. But in order to move South Carolina forward, and God knows this is going to be a long, hot summer, Reverend Miller, we will have violence. Okay, we understand that the bill, if it had become law, wasn't going to stop all hate. It wasn't going to resolve all hate. But when these things happen, one would have to ask, what side is South Carolina standing on? Is it the side of justice? Is it the side of righteousness? Okay, because these hate crimes will happen, and we want to be on the right side.
So do me a favor, make an appeal to the public and tell them what you need them to do.
There was no better appeal than Miss Molly Shepard when she was one of the lone survivors of the Mother Emanuel. She did an awesome job. She brought everybody to tears. And her plea was, look, you 6 senators, you ought to know better. This was one of your brothers. And I'm paraphrasing. Okay, this was one of your own brothers. You should understand that we don't want hate here in South Carolina. And when she made that plea, she brought people in the Senate to tears. So my plea is her plea, the same plea that she put out there. Okay, we have to do better than this. Okay.
Thank you, State Representative Wendell Gilliard, again, for explaining and expounding on the hate crime bill named after Senator Clemente Pinckney. Thank you, and I wish success behind the passing of this bill.
Thank you.
Okay, you heard it right here on Bounce Around Charleston from State Representative Wendell Gilliard. He wants you to help get this bill passed, the Senator Clemente hate crime bill. We'll be right back after this break.